Hi there. Welcome to Can I Make It, a series where I spend my valuable time where I could be at school learning, out in the forest trying to live like a caveman. Not exactly, but welcome. In today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at some of the first agriculture of the series, and we're going to be finally utilizing some of the corn I planted many months ago. We'll be experimenting with modern day cooking methods to figure out the challenges of making corn tortilla chips from just a bunch of corn kernels. And later this year, in a future episode, we'll be redoing this experiment without modern cooking utensils, and with a new batch of corn that we'll probably plant this coming spring. Last year, I used a big stick as a digging tool to till a small row of soil. It took quite a while, but I ended up germinating and planting some corn seeds there. It was actually quite cool to be able to watch each seed grow into a big, strong plant and start having kids of their own. It even hurt me slightly when I realized I was going to be eating all of their children. Regardless, I still stole all of their potential offspring and peeled away the delicious outer leaves, exposing the kernels inside. The corn didn't exactly try to run away or anything, so I figured they were all okay with me doing that. Some of the corn looked really nice, but some of them, like that one hiding in the back of them all, got pretty unlucky in the looks department. I'm sure they make up for it once you get to know them, though. But the only thing that would ever really get to know the corn was unfortunately the inside of my stomach. I spent some time and created a very strange torii gate with a hammer I'd built in the past. I was able to use some of the cordage I've made previously to hang the corn cobs along the top post of the tiny structure I'd just built. Enjoy a quick 15-second montage of me working on this. No! That's okay. I left them out to dry for a few days before grabbing them and bringing them inside. From there, it was a simple process of taking off all the individual kernels. This was super easy. The dry pieces of corn would just come off with a small push. It reminded me of the satisfying feeling of taking out loose teeth, and that's the reason I've decided to become a dentist when I'm older. I can't wait to get paid to pull other people's teeth out of their mouths. The next step of the process involved cooking the corn kernels in lime water, a process called nixtamalization. This helps create the right flavor and texture of the corn in order to grind it down into flour. I didn't have lime, so I headed out to the remains of our neighbor's sacrificial bonfire to grab some ash. Ash works as a great substitute for lime, so even though it seems contrarily disgusting to cook the corn in an ash and water mixture, it still worked great, and I wasn't even able to taste the slightest bit of ash in the final product. Here you can see the incredible result of my absolute genius in deciding to use a plastic container to pick up hot ashes. I strained the corn kernels, then ground them up in a blender, and I ended up with a neat homemade masa. It was time to make the tortillas. Making tortillas from masa is super simple. You can just mix up some water, some masa, and some salt in a little ball, and you get an unsquished tortilla. And for some reason, when I was writing the script for this episode, Google told me that unsquished wasn't a word, which is obviously wrong, because that's what the tortillas were. Unsquished. So we squished them, and then we cooked them in a pan. The tortillas were done. Then it was a simple matter of putting a little cooking oil on them and baking them once they were cut to the perfect triangle size. Now, please don't go around thinking that I know all about making delicious Mexican food. Pretty much everything I know can be found on the first Google search of how to make tortillas. In fact, the tortillas I made here were some of the worst I've ever had in my life. Aside from that one rest. Never mind. Our tortillas weren't horrible, they just weren't good. But the chips were yet to be tasted. We had yet to see if the wood ash nixtamalization process would actually work when I do it for real with primitive tools this coming summer. I grabbed my favorite salsa out of the fridge, put the chips into a nice bowl, and got ready to snack. Well, we made chips. First I'm gonna do this. Okay, they're not completely crunchy, they're a little bit, I was expecting more of a crunch. What if I do it on the edge? That sounded like a chip. No, didn't quite sound like that on the middle. I think we messed up a little bit on the cooking part. But you know what? I'm gonna set this one aside because that doesn't. Let's find one of the crispiest ones. Is this crispy? They're not very crispy. But maybe the outside of this one is. Maybe that was the middle. So this one, well, I'm gonna find it crispy. Okay. You know what? Let's just eat this. We're gonna try it with my favorite salsa here. I'm worried this is gonna taste bad. Okay, I need to stop stalling. Okay, 3, 2, 1. I can't feel it. I can't chew it. It's too thick. It's like eating the hardest, stalest chips you've ever had. Well, no, because stale chips get soft. It's like eating toast. Let me get my water there. That was the thickest chip I've ever eaten in my entire life. Let's just say that. I think this one's thinner. This is a small one that kind of got separated. I think if we do this, we're going to need to do small chips in the future. Or make these thinner. Because these are some of the thickest chips I've ever had. Yeah, let's try a smaller one. That was crunchy. That was one crunchy chip. But it wasn't bad. That chip actually tasted good. The tortillas, I don't know. The flavor is actually not bad. Which is surprising because I cooked it with all that ash, but the flavor is actually surprisingly good. But this is a crunch. It's weird. If I had these at, you know, a party or something, I would probably skip them. I'd pass. But you know, if I was stuck in the wilderness, I could actually probably eat these. Were the chips good? I think they were okay. If I were stranded on a desert island with nothing but a solar-powered hot dog making machine and a bowl of these chips, I'd go for the chips before I went for the hot dog. But that could also be because I don't like dog very much. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I plan on making more content like this in the future, so consider subscribing to see it more often. That's all I've got time for this week, so thanks for watching. Bye-bye.